Welcome to Four Seas One Family, where we share thoughts and opinions concerning life in Taiwan, the region, and the world. I'm your host, James Thomas, coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan, and I'm so glad to have you traveling along with me on this journey, and welcome to the show. Well, it's kind of like impromptu, another one, and this is my second impromptu get-together with myself, actually. I didn't have time to set up anything with anybody. I just got connections from a friend back in the States who's in Washington. Said, hey, James, are you doing a stream? I said, well, I just got out of class and haven't even finished dinner yet. And I see it's down to a few key states I see right now. And what I'm seeing here, let's see, to bring up some reports. Oh, by the way, I'm seeing quite a few stations who are doing a lot of streams on YouTube about the election getting blocked, getting content blocked. Now, I did send out some links to a few of my friends out there that they can get into the waiting room here and jump in. Matter of fact, let me shoot another one over to somebody else. And if they have time, they'll jump in and comment a little bit. But it's quite, let's see, I just put this in here. I don't know if anybody will be able to jump in here because, you know, this is like me putting things, trying to do something at the last minute, but it's still better to get it out there than not to get it out there at all. But I'm going to catch up on the news here because I haven't been able to look at the news. But so whatever I read right now will be a shock to me. And I'd like to thank Christopher yesterday for jumping in here at the last moment. And I'm going to send him another notice right now to kind of like maybe wake him up a little bit. Maybe I'll shoot this one over here to his alter ego. So I'm going to take a look at what's going on. Let me send another one out to somebody who moved to Taoyuan. He's another broadcaster. Well, now he is, I should say. So I'm going to turn over here and look at what's going on. Mr. Keaton. I'm supposed to get back to him about something. I just saw his message, so I'm kind of like caught up here. So let's see. Anybody in the waiting room? No, not yet. So let me do something. I'm going to pop over and look at the screen here because I see, let's see, I got 4 news sites up now, and that means let me bring up another news site on the monitor in front of me. See if I can come up with anything. I will not stream anything because YouTube is now blocking a lot of people who are also streaming and who are also streaming. They're just blocking them. So I'm just wondering what's going to happen right now if Biden wins enough electoral colleges votes and but you know loses on the number of voters. Okay, I got somebody, but it's hold on. I'm streaming now, dude. Okay, so I'm probably going to be learning stuff just as simultaneously as some people out there are seeing it. Got some comments coming in from YouTube. One friendly comment, and then another one from a Trump supporter. I can tell he's not using very kind words towards me. That's a quote here. A winner has still not been projected in several critical states as the race to 270 goes on in America. Now, it feels like, well, it's not feels like, but statistically, most people here in Taiwan want 45 to become also 46. Well, I should say 45 2.0. And it's for obvious reasons, because the neighbors next door, mainland China, and the CCP and the PLA, are getting very loud. And of course, if they get very loud, the louder they get, the more recognition or name recognition they'll give to the people of Taiwan. So, okay, I'm looking at the comments I got on this side. Thank you, Eric. This is Eric Johnson. Yeah, how you doing, dude? Okay, let me see what's going on this page. I'm like multitasking for real. And there's no one that I really know that I can bring in here. To comment. It's kind of scary. Okay, so let me see if I could, while I'm doing this, until somebody jumps in here, or so I'll let this run on the bottom there. So there's some takeaways that I'm reading here about today's elections, and I will not broadcast it. Now it says as of Wednesday morning state time, right? There's some projectors that it's too early to call what's going on in Maine, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania. I think Pennsylvania should be already called by now. Michigan, Nevada. What else? It looks kind of close to call right now. A lot of the ballots have not been counted, and I don't know how they're going to swing in the mail-in ballots, right? And being on this side of the world, there's not much we can say much. There's a lot of the Chinese media is being simultaneously translated, and I haven't been looking at other networks like NBC, Fox, CNN. I'm just bringing up some news feeds here. It's kind of a little tricky. Let's see, let me switch over to here. You know, I hate this. Oh, I'm on one machine and then something else is asking to be installed. But if I don't install it, it'll probably lock me up here. Okay, hold on. Hello. Yep. I see that Randy out there in Shanghai has been quite busy streaming. Former Loser Lao Y, or called Black in Asia right now. While I'm waiting here, you know, if you have any comments, shoot it up there, and here we go. They support, okay, here's a comment. This is pretty, they support Trump only because the hatred towards mainland China. It's probably true. Yellow baby. I assume 你是华人. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I assume, yeah, well, it's not hatred towards mainland China. Mainland China is being aggressive. Just face the fact. It's It's showing aggression right now. Not that's if the other way, if it was the other shoe around, that wouldn't happen. But this is what is happening at the present moment. I wouldn't. It would be quite selfish to say that the Taiwanese people here are showing support only to Trump only because of Trump's how would you say priority to come down heavily on China. Okay, so to just be fair about that. It's not all about hatred. Okay, because in Taiwanese society, among themselves, you can say there's some form of, how would you say, animosities or even, I would say, hatreds towards people who came from mainland China over here to actually take control of the government, stuff like that. So that's a whole different topic, but that's the way it is, right? It's what time is it right now? It's 10:04 here right now, p.m. here in Taiwan, and I'm seeing news here that Trump prematurely, someplace, prematurely sounds like what he usually does, declared victory somewhere. And you can jump in here and feed me more information on what's going on here. 如果你刚打我的频道，我很多就是这几个小时也不清楚，所以我现在在看大部分的英文媒体，是最近发生什么事情，应该差不多4个小时，我都没有收到4个小时的消息。I haven't gotten about 4.5 hours, say 4 hours of news. So I was looking for somebody, one of my friends, to jump in here and feed me in. And like usual, nobody's around. My fault. It looks like a lot of people, my friends in the States, are probably pooped out right now because they've been either, if they're broadcasters, so they're streaming, they're probably burnt out and probably need to get some downtime. And East Coast, it's like 9:05 a.m. What I'm talking about, right? A.m. Yeah. Bring up my time clock. Bring up my world clock. Trying to do it just by pushing buttons here. I didn't program my world clock. Yeah, not too smart, right? Let me keep an eye on the. If you want to say anything else, Yellow Baby, just let me know, okay? But still, it's not because of the hatreds towards China. Are you a mainlander? 你是大陆人吗？我不会对你怎么样，就是说坦白的讲，好不好？just just speak honestly, 诚实的讲。There's really a lot going on here. Didn't have much time to look at put up the papers, but let me stream. Let's go on some of these websites here and see what I can come up with. Let's not go there. No matter where I go to, it's going to be bias preferences. Let me show you guys this. No, I'll bring it up. Thank you for your comment. Okay, I just switched over to CNN. The fate of Trump re-election bid has not been decided, but Tuesday results are the large-scale retribution that could cause Biden to a landslide victory. And the Democrats are struggling with Latinos. That's another topic in itself. and there's reasons. Okay, so 哦，你是台南人啊？OK，你是你是欧朗的嘛？因为你有什么那个金恩博士跟 Malcolm X 是那个 icon。OK，你是欧朗啊，兄弟。OK， well, I about 3 hours ago, the most of the reports I've seen is look like 45 will be able to stand up again. Okay. How you doing? I'm going to see if I can bring somebody in here. Here we go. I'm going to try to like make him jump in here. If he gives me the hand signal, okay, I'm gonna let Dre. Now Dre's in the States. Here we come. Hey, how you doing, Dre? Sorry to wake you up.
You didn't wake me up, man. I have kids. I'm up at 5:30, 6 o'clock anyway.
Okay.
What's going on? How is it over there in Taiwan?
Hey, how you doing? What time is it over there?
It's 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Okay, 9:09. It should be about, right?
Yep.
Yeah, thanks for jumping in here, man. I know you've been busy for a couple of hours, huh? You did some streams about 12 hours ago, right?
I've been streaming all week. But I've been literally up all night. I haven't slept.
Are you dead?
I'm stressed. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. This election has everybody on edge. Yeah,
and have us on edge out here too. But yeah, I have some questions.
I guess for different reasons, though, for you.
Yeah, but it's all related. Different reasons, but it's all related. That's the scary thing that's uniting us together. You understand?
Right.
Well, tell me then. Okay, I mentioned a comment, and maybe you heard, but what will happen if Biden? What do you think would happen? Because we all can't see in the future, right? But if Biden did win, but won because of electoral college votes, do you think 45 would trip it on and say, hey, this is cheating or whatever? Because it's really hard to actually count in at this point the mail-in ballots and stuff like that.
Right. So if Biden pulls this off, and it's realistically, it just looks grim. He pulled off. I'm hearing an echo. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
He pulled off Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. But by a very narrow margin, though.
How narrow is narrow?
I would have to look it up.
Okay. But it's like bolt.
It's narrow. This race is so close, and I don't even understand why. Considering who Donald Trump is, who we all know him to be, who the world knows him to be, and I don't understand why this election is that close. But back to your question, if he pulls this off, yes, Donald Trump is going to contest this.
Mm-hmm.
So it won't be over.
I came across a comment about the Latino voter. It seems like Trump has pulled in a lot of Latino voters, man. I wouldn't expect that, because I would expect Florida, because a lot of conservatives live in Florida, so as I see. The older people.
The Latino vote? Yeah, I expected that. Yeah, I know a lot of Spanish-speaking people. Being in and around the military, for the majority of my life. Actually, almost my entire adulthood. Here's the thing, and this is going to sound really bad, but there's just no other way to frame this. Most, in my experience, I think most Spanish-speaking people just identify as white.
I'm from New York. I wouldn't say that.
Really?
I don't feel that as being a New Yorker. Because most of the people I lived around, and I really love the people that I grew up with, are from Puerto Rico.
Right.
You know, and not from, say, Cuba or other places like that. But I don't feel that being a New Yorker and talking to the, Hispanic population that I know were mostly from, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, yeah. In my experience, it's the opposite. Especially in the military. Every Spanish speaking person I know, of all of them, the majority of them are Republican.
Wow.
And the majority of them, I'm not saying they don't. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah,
There's
that's
no
what I
way
expect. Be honest.
yeah. There's no way for me to frame it without without it sounding kind of crass. But I'll just leave it as that. Most Spanish speaking people that I know, they identify with the Republican Party.
Well, I noticed also talking to Hispanic people I know from the southern part of the United States who are Hispanic, and they keep telling me about the Ricky Ricardo syndrome. If you look at I Love Lucy, Ricky Ricardo, so the assimilation situation. But I am going to mention something.
Explain that. Explain it. What is the Ricky Ricardo?
Okay, what I mean is, if you look at the show, I Love Lucy,
one of my favorite shows.
If Ricky Ricardo did not speak, you'd have assumed that he was white. I mean,
okay,
on black and white TV.
That's why I wanted you to say it.
Me? Okay.
Look, I'm gonna tell you something, James.
No, I'm being honest.
I am too.
I know. But
Go ahead.
you're going through the way of Republican, but it's not. I'm not saying it's their fault. No, it's just a projection of if you are having a television show in the 1950s, right, and you want a certain part of a demographics, you would do that. It builds up. It's commercial. It's democratic. Demographic building in media. I would say that.
That's why I opened it. Or I started out, saying that.
And I stepped in it.
Well, again, in my experience, most Puerto Ricans, definitely Cubans, identify as white.
But I would not say Puerto
it's
Rican.
almost like they can pass. I'm gonna say this. All right. I know personally three Puerto Rican dudes that are very
They're Republican.
proud when someone thinks they're white on the phone.
Okay, you send them a text message right now, and I'll send them the link here, and we can argue with them until.
I'm just being honest with you. They're proud. When they it's almost a badge of honor for them to say, oh well, when I'm on the phone, people people think I'm white until they meet me, and they think that's a badge of honor. So yeah, well, until sometimes. But the whole point is that the question is, how is Trump pulling the Spanish vote? That's how the Latino vote. That's how he's doing it, is because of the two parties. The majority of them, or there's a big portion of them that identify with him more than they identify with Joe Biden. And that is that American dream that I'm going to be rich and I'm not like everyone else. I'm not the way you think my people are. I don't know how to really
No,
say
I got
that.
it. I got it. Yeah, but we're not. So then I'll see. You mentioned people from, say, the Cuba, and I don't see from the people from Puerto Rico that I know. I don't see that way, but I don't know many Mexicans. Okay?
I do. My stepdad is Mexican. They are not. The majority of them are not like that. But when it comes to Cuban, Puerto Ricans, and I don't really know.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, it's okay.
I know people that I know people from Spain, but
Mhm.
they don't they live in Spain.
Yeah, yeah.
They have no ties to the U.S.
Mhm. Well, because I'm out here in Asia, I'm gonna drop this in because when I talk to my Taiwanese friends who live in America, um, it's kind of split for me half and half. Some really do support 45 just because of his aggressiveness or his seem tough attitude towards mainland China. And the other half, who I would say immigrated to the United States, say in the early 90s, are for Biden. And I'm not totally sure why. This it's half and half situation. I know a lot of Taiwanese Americans and the ones who immigrated before, in the early 90s are for Biden, but the ones who say recent immigrants because of the recent events, or maybe it coincides with the recent new world order mainland China's trying to make, and that can be probably the reason why. I don't know if you can talk anything about that. Do you know any Asian people in?
No.
No. You need to get out more.
I have Asian neighbors, but they are they were born here in America. They don't even have ties to like one of my neighbors are Korean, and him nor his wife has ever even been to Korea. So they're American, for all intents and purposes. They're American. And I don't know where they land as far as politically. So I couldn't even speak to that.
Well, to be honest with you, most people in the Asian population, they do not speak quite openly about their political affiliation.
Yeah.
And it's because, especially if they're from mainland China, because mainland China has a network of, how would you say, spy networks. That kind of like keep the eyes on other people who are from China and stuff like that to make sure they stay in the right party track or whatever you want to call that.
Right.
But yeah, okay. Just jump back to what I'm seeing right now here online. I'm trying not to look at certain websites because I know what they're about. So what are you getting so far from the news that you are actually pulling your information from?
So I try not to watch corporate media at all. I watched a little bit of them last night, but most of the night I was, looking at just the charts from Google. I looked at a lot of polls, especially, the last year and a half since the election started. And obviously these polls were wrong. They were wrong again. I don't know if we will ever trust a poll ever again. They were so wrong that we're even losing House seats. And we were supposedly safe there, as far as seats in the House.
Supposedly.
Yeah, we were supposedly safe. But I don't know what the pundits are saying because honestly I don't really care what they're saying. It's all entertainment. For them it's all entertainment. It's not about us as citizens. It's about advertising dollars.
Yep.
So I'm just going off of what I see. And if I look at the chart, if I look at the state right now as it stands now. Well, let me refresh it. Hold up.
Yeah, refresh that. And while you're refreshing, let me put this in the back of your mind. Do you see any local elections that seem to be, that stick out? And also, do you have any opinions on the control of the House? I'm seeing, 180 Democrats and 171 or 72 Republicans, something like that?
That's what I was talking about. We're going to keep the House, but we lost 4 seats. And we're not going to take the Senate, so we almost find ourselves in a worse situation than we did yesterday morning. We have less seats in the House. We did not take the Senate. and we may still have Donald Trump
Look,
as
man.
president.
I live over here, and a lot of my friends, family members, and they always say to me, James, you don't know what's going on. You don't know how we feel. I know what's going on, maybe, but I don't know how you feel because I'm not there, and I don't have to deal with too much of the name calling in my face anymore. But what do you see, or how much influence you think certain, how would you say, narratives or groups had on this election, or did not? And primarily, I'm going to talk about BLM. How do you think they affected this election, if in any way that can be positive, negative? Because I myself personally, I don't have a positive impression of BLM at this moment.
Why? Let me ask you first. Why wouldn't you? Or what is your impression? Or why is that impression tainted?
Okay, remember this is my interview, and I can hang up on you. Okay, I don't have to hang up on
we were just
my
having a
brother.
conversation.
Okay. I get a comment here. You're echoing very, very bad, but I hear you clearly, so I can't say anything about that. Because I did some work into, the founders, and I wouldn't call myself a socialist or, understanding the three young ladies are trained Marxists, as one said. It's the organization of that kind of like bothers me. That's one. It's not a central core organization. The next thing is, and this comment that I'm about to make has to do a large part because I'm living out here in Taiwan. It's the funneling of some money from mainland China directly to Black Lives Matter. That bothers me. And as a quote from my friend Randy in Shanghai, I have receipts. It's public record. You can check this by tax numbers.
Yeah,
So,
actually, I think you told me this before.
yeah, but if you study something called Sun Tzu Bingfa, the art of war, the way to defeat your enemy sometimes is not by using wars to do it from the inside and do it in a way where it's totally legal, at least in your enemy's realm of influence. And that's what yeah, go ahead.
So Black Lives Matter isn't a militia
Organization, right?
right? It's a
Like
non-profit. Well, no, because Antifa isn't even an organization. Antifa
Yeah, it's not an
isn't-
organization, correct.
Right. Antifa's just an idea.
Correct.
There is no Antifa building.
I agree with that.
Or you can't go to
An Antifa party.
and sign up.
Right. You
Or
can't go
pay
there.
dues anywhere. And it's sort of the same with BLM. BLM is just a movement. It's no different from
The 1960s.
it's not even on the level of the Black Panther Party. It is literally just a movement. So any money, and again, I don't know what money you're talking about, but any money that's going to them, there's not a lot they can do with it because BLM doesn't have any political power. BLM, Black Lives Matter exists only because black lives, mostly young black men, are being killed by either police officers or white men, and those crimes are going unpunished.
That's
Right,
the
so
scary thing.
so the only reason Black Lives Matter is to bring attention to that and to bring change to that. So yeah, so I don't. I can't get there when you say you have a negative perception of them.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes absolutely sense. And you're not the first person who, at other 2 nights ago, we had a television network connection. And I don't think we have enough time to get into that right now because I can show you some stuff that can actually show you the connection with it and what builds my influence on it. But let's keep going on something else now. Now, we already talked about what you're seeing on your end. And is there any local elections that stick out in your mind, though? Or talking about anything that locally, just because it's a tough question. You didn't prepare.
Well,
I mean, come
Well,
on, man.
none of this is prepared. I have no notes in front of me. I can be like Amy Comey Barron and just hold up my.
Oops.
This nothing on. Look,
Nothing. But I can use Photoshop and I'll put something on it though.
Do that. But the only local election that I was, or the two local elections that I was following was Kentucky and South Carolina, because I really wanted Mitch and what is his name?
Mitch,
Southern guy.
like I know.
No, you know he's I'm drawing a blank. Lindsey Graham.
Oh,
I wanted Mitch and Graham gone. And I wanted Susan Collins gone, and it looks like she's also going to win her race. So those were the only local elections I was paying attention to, only because I just really wanted those people gone. I think those people are really, I think they're too important to the conservative movement, and they're too important to Trump. And if they were gone, even if Trump wins, he would have been crippled a little bit.
mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I particularly with the Graham.
Right.
Okay, he's entrenched, and
but they won. So
well, it's deep money. Dude, have you noticed anything with the presentation of information to you that would make you think that these big corporate technology companies would have any way of swaying public opinions and stuff like that? Like, I'm hearing news about what Google is showing in their search rankings and stuff like that, which is different by region, which you can actually, on Google itself, look up trends and actually see how certain stuff is being propagated. Have you noticed anything like that?
I haven't noticed it, but I wouldn't be surprised. I definitely wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that's I mean, technology can be used for good, and it can also be used for dubious things. So I wouldn't doubt that. But I will say this though, James. When this is over, no matter who wins, I don't think money had anything to do with money in politics. I think this is just all about people chose a side. There was a poll, an exit poll that I did see, where they said 85% of people knew who they were going to vote for, before the last like 60 days or something like that. I don't remember like the specifics
60
of the poll.
days.
Right. I think people knew like now we are now a divided country. You're either a Republican or you're a Democrat now. I think this is the election that solidified that. There's no more independence. There's no more, you can say you're Green Party, but now it is a battle between red and blue. And until one of them fall, there will never be the rise of another party.
Mm-hmm.
It's like now you are just on a side. And I don't think money or Google or Facebook influence anybody. They probably the only thing those entities could have done was reinforce what people already believed. I know my mind was made up November 4th, 4 years ago.
November 4th.
Right, November 4th, 4 years ago. I knew that I was not voting for Donald Trump. It didn't really matter what he did. One, I already knew he was going to be a disaster of a president anyway. But I knew that I was going to be voting for whoever was running. Luckily, it was the guy I wanted to run.
It's sad. I'm sorry. It's sad. I get messages from people saying, I got a message from one of my teammates, former teammates, and he said, basically, James, I voted for the lesser evil.
Yeah, I don't get any of that. I really don't.
Because I do though.
I don't. Here's the deal.
I should say what lesser evil, but not the best. Whatever.
one side wants you to live your life the best you can and give you equal resources to do that. Right? They want you to have health care. They want you to have a livable wage. They want you to be able to sleep in the bed and curl up on the couch and watch Netflix with whoever you want to, as long as that person is consenting. Right?
Right.
One side wants that, and the other side wants the absolute opposite of that.
To the extreme, though.
Right. I mean, I don't understand the when someone says both sides are alike, or well, they're all the same. No, they are not. One side wants to give you health care, even if they haven't figured it out yet. One side wants to do that for you, and the other doesn't.
Completely.
One side wants to give you a livable wage, and the other doesn't. You know what's crazy, James? Is that I have friends in Germany that work at grocery stores and get 2 to 3 weeks of vacation a year.
Yeah.
And all of their needs are met. Financially. You know, yeah, they don't live in mansions and
Right.
they don't live on lakes, but they go to bed at night not really worried about their financial situation. They're not working, 2 and 3 jobs to make ends meet.
Mm-hmm.
All right? One side wants to give you the closest version of that, and the other is the other side is literally saying fend for yourself.
Right.
And so anybody who says, well, I'm voting for the lesser two evils, then you're not paying attention.
There's no ultimate perfect nothing. I agree with that, but I can understand the feelings of people in a sense, where they want a simple fix, or they feel that solving solutions is just as easy as turning on one light and turning off the other, which is never the case. And what you just mentioned about your friends in Germany, I have friends who live in Switzerland, and they said, James, I'm so happy to pay taxes.
Right.
I'm so happy to pay taxes.
I know people in Switzerland. I know people in South Korea. I know people in the Netherlands, Paris, England. And even their version of struggling is nowhere near what our version of struggling is.
Okay. I got a comment that came here from somebody in Germany. Let me bounce over there. But go ahead. Go ahead. Let me jump over there and see his comment.
Oh yeah,
somebody Switzerland. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Yeah, but this is. Let me see what Eric said here. Let me see if I can bring his comment up. There we go. I see it. Eric says, nobody in Germany has only 2 to 3 weeks of vacation per year. It's at least 5 to 6 weeks. 3 explanation points.
See. Even when I'm wrong. See, and he is right. He absolutely. You're right. Because again, my friends, they are constantly on vacation. James, dude, me and my wife, we work our fingers to the bone here. I have still yet to be on vacation with my wife.
I hear you.
And we work our fingers to the bone here. It doesn't make sense for anybody. If it's this hard for me and my wife and my family to keep our head above water, I can only imagine what it's like today for someone that's, living in the hood. I can only imagine that. No one should struggle that way. I'm not saying, look, I'm not saying that we all should have equal things. That, if you what I have and what you have is stuff that you earned. Right? But we are lucky. We're fortunate. And everyone isn't that fortunate. And just because someone was born with less skills or less, mental capacity, or They were born into a poor family who, or born to a drug addicted mother and abusive father. That person should still be able to live as comfortable as possible. Am I making sense, man?
No, I the thing is, being in Taiwan, right? I actually know personally that I can chat with friendly any Trump supporters. If I do, they're not telling me anything. Okay, because maybe they fear it will cause a certain type of backlash. But it does bother me when some people say, well, those people are like that because they didn't pull, what do you say, pull their boots up by some kind of straps, you know?
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
By your bootstraps, right?
Yeah.
And
Some people can do that.
Some people can do it, or I'll use the term that Mr. Buffett said. That not everybody can win the vagina lottery. It just doesn't happen like that. And some of us are lucky. And by the way, about the vacation thing here, it's hard for me to even take a vacation here in Taiwan. But here in Taiwan, Taiwanese people work long hours, though, at least in my age group. But going back to what you say, this is what bothers me, and it's cold to me. So me doing what I'm doing, I'm trying to stay in the middle when I'm talking to people. But on a personal level, I have to put the hammer down, put the Thor thunder down on people who talk to me on a private level. And I've seen a lot of this going on right now. I'm really kind of shocked at what I'm seeing right here about, how things are moving. And that's why I asked you about how much influence or lack of influence, or what kind of organizations or movements that were kind of detrimental to getting more people out. Because I'm seeing the first few hours saw over 100 million people already voted. That's, if you compare it to 2016, man,
that, I'm gonna tell you, that had me fooled. Like I really thought. I thought we had it in the bag. I was like, oh my God, we got it in the bag. When I went to vote, I'm in Virginia, so I'm in a blue state. When I went to vote, just last Tuesday, I think, last Wednesday, one day last week. There was the Democrat tent was out there, and the Republican tent was out there, and the Republican worker would every couple of minutes, I don't know, like every 20, 30 minutes, she would go through the line and try to hand out pamphlets. Actually, it was a sample ballot to show you all the Republican candidates on the ticket. And the day that I was there, every time she walked through line, people was shooing her way. Like, no, I don't need that. I'm good. And I was like, yeah, we got this in the bag. I was like, yeah, we got this in the bag. I really thought that Trump winning the first time was just, I don't know, was just America having a brain cramp. And I was like, we're not gonna do that. People are gonna, they know that elections have consequences now, and they're gonna show up, and he's gonna win. Biden's gonna win by landslide. I had someone on my show Saturday, and he said, "Hey, Biden's gonna win by 7 million votes." And I was like, "Whoa, I can see that happening." Man, if he wins, it won't even be by 1.5 million. As it stands now. I don't understand this country other than we are just inherently selfish, and under that selfishness is the bigotry, the sexism, and the racism. But I think at the core of that is that we are inherently a selfish, self-serving country, and we only give a damn about ourselves.
Are you talking about human nature? Human nature?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Are you talking about the carnal end of human nature?
The carnal end?
Yeah. What I mean is, there's a compassionate side of human nature too, but there's the one that's actually caught up more on survival. It's like something that's somebody's supposed to say, that 50 Cent dude saying, I don't want to pay more taxes. I'm not going to vote for Biden. And then he retracts that, but that's a whole different story. But that's, yes, are we selfish? Or do we only care about ourselves?
Americans do. I don't know about Germany and France and England. They could be the same way, but I can only speak for I can only speak from the house I grew up in. And this massive house is the most selfish group of people on this planet. They do not. We do not care. We do not care about our despite all the charities and things that all the charitable organizations that we have, and despite all of that, at people's core, it's all about them.
People give money to charity, some people, just to make themselves feel that they're not that bad.
Right.
And
yeah. Because there's no way. I mean, even if you say, well, I think Trump is good for the economy, which he's not, because I mean he didn't pass any legislation that would move that would have moved the economy in any direction at all.
And it's easy to prove that too, though. But go ahead.
I'm sorry, say that again.
It's easy to prove that too, because the way he measures things is short. Yeah, you just look it up. The things he's measuring and propagating is in very short term. You don't do statistics like that. But you go ahead.
Well, what I'm saying is that if you look at him and you go, well, I'm just going to vote because we need a healthy economy, and that's my concern, right? Then I would go, okay, yeah, I get there. We don't agree on that, but yeah, I get it. You don't care about the social issues. You care about the economy being, remaining stable. And Donald Trump is doing that. But he's not doing that, though. So what are you what are you actually voting for? If he's not doing any of that, then all you have is the bad. Then that's what you're voting for. That's what you're supporting. That's what you're upholding. And you no matter how you dice that up, you're an awful person for that.
Yeah, sometimes you have to look at where people are speaking from. What hood are they speaking from? What tower they're speaking from? And it's scary to me, and it's only going to get worse. Okay, there's some bad comments in here, but it's okay.
No. I mean, what are they saying? Let's address those.
I don't want to put these words over here, because if I can't, I'm the type of person, if you put yourself out there publicly, or you go into this group, you show me your face, and if I know you, but if you have a point against me, I'll let you in. I'll talk to you, because I'm one of those type of persons that don't say too much until it's time to say it. But Joe, I don't want to take up too much of your time, though. I'm going to ask you to look into a crystal ball, though. Okay. And the two questions I will ask you, I don't know if I would be able to answer it myself or have the right to answer it, because I'm not, for these two particular questions, I'm not in the United States. Now, if I'm going to start from the more pessimistic part, if Biden does make it, what do you see the future? I'm talking about the short-term future. Say immediately after he's chosen as President Biden, and then I'm not talking about long-term. I'm talking about short-term. What do you think will be the reaction of certain people from different parts or different places in the United States? That's the first question. And the second question, well, you can combine this too. 45 just come through this. How do you think will be the reaction of the people? What kind of, I'm not talking about the play 45 would say off it. What do you see? You can put those two questions in one.
So are you asking
if Biden,
from the other side, like what, how the other side is going to react?
Yeah, it could be,
to
either way.
I do think that if Biden pulls this off, you're gonna see some violence, especially because it's close. So Donald Trump will contest it. He'll try to kick it, he'll try to kick it up to the Supreme Court. They'll kick it back. He'll scream, this was stolen from me, and his militia, his supporters that are that's been waiting, that's been training their entire life to to organize, in front of the White House. Something like that will happen, and they'll provoke. And if that happens, they'll provoke an incident, someone will get shot, and then they'll claim self-defense. Right? I mean, that's what normally happens. That's what happened with Rittenhouse up in Kenosha.
Oh yeah.
Right. So that's what happens. I think there'll be some minor. I'm not some. I think there'll be some violence. If Trump wins, it'll probably still be some violence because we'll hit the streets again to protest, and there'll be some provocateurs that'll break some windows and start some riots, and then some people will get hurt. So that's what I think is going to happen. Probably starting this weekend. Something like that is probably going to happen. I hope not. Like I hope that we could. I hope if Biden wins, we all just stay in the house and let them go out there and do whatever the hell they're going to do.
Yeah.
And if Trump wins, though I think it's important just for history's sake to show that we were against his re-election the same way we were against his election. I think that's important to be in the history books and to have video of it, to, for it to be a record of us protesting him as president. I actually still kind of hope we just stay in the house. And I don't know, just maybe protest on the internet or something, because if we go out, then things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Was that the question you were asking? Or
Yeah,
were
no.
you asking?
You said the depressing things that I was thinking, but I'm trying not to say it because I already put my foot into one situation.
What situation was that?
Oh, that was a situation that I kind of like had to take word about. Hispanic population.
But let's clear that up then before we go. It's not like it's a bad thing, right? If you identify with the Republican Party, then you identify with the Republican Party. But I'm just whatever. Like you are free. We live in a free country. Most of this world is free. So if you identify with Donald Trump for whatever reason, if you identify with pull yourself up by your bootstraps, because if you feel like that you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps and you had no help from anybody else, and you had the exact same situation as someone else.
The starting blocks.
Right. Yeah. If you feel that, then hey, that's how you feel, and you're free to identify and vote however you want. I'm just saying if you ask me why they're voting that way, my answer is, in my experience, most Spanish-speaking people identify as Republican. Or identify as white.
Mm-hmm. Well,
not a bad thing. Not a good thing. Not a bad thing. It is what it is.
Well, I can carry that on for another discussion.
I didn't call anybody racist.
No, I got you.
I'm just saying that's just what it is. I know black people who identify as Republican too.
Yeah. Well, I'm lucky I can talk to some of them personally. I can talk to some of them, but it doesn't mean I can understand a lot of their reasons for some things.
I had one over for a barbecue not just 6 or 7 weeks ago.
I hope you didn't give him the best chicken. Okay.
Actually,
look.
I did. All my chicken is good, dude. I
Okay, when I get
marinated overnight.
when I get stateside, I do a live stream on to see how really good it is. Dre, don't get off when we go off air because I want to talk to you about something. But look, I really thank you for jumping in here.
No problem.
I don't
Hey,
have a lot of friends.
you're supposed to do my show later today, right?
Am I doing it today? You didn't tell, really? If I am? Oh, that's right. Well, you put the time in, and when I get to the home studio, I'll be there.
Right.
No, I'm serious. I'll be there. And I'm going to be talking about something later. I'm a preview it right now. I'm going to talk about Black Sit. I'm going to talk about that later in another episode. I'm going to record that, and I'm going to make some people angry, and then maybe I'll get your comments in there. But I really appreciate you jumping in here because
no problem.
You know, but as the same question now, I'll put it back on me being out here in Taiwan. Right? I don't think it would change much here. But as long as what was offered to Taiwan as weapons, now $2 billion, which I know Taiwan will not have to pay in full. How you doing, Earl? It won't mean much to me back down here in Taiwan because I just hope we're not used just as a pawn to play against mainland China. And, well, that's something, if you're a foreigner living out here in Asia, you would understand. But look, once again, hold on, Drake. Thank you very much for being with me here.
No problem.
Thanks
for having me.
All right, man. Hold on. Hey, thanks everybody for tuning into us here. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day. And of course, I really thank Dre for jumping in. Sorry, Earl, I can't get you in here right now, but I'll talk to you guys later. Everyone, take care. And thank you for listening into 4Cs, One Family. And hopefully we'll catch you on next time.